So this season of Supergirl has been a big improvement over the first season. There's been a lot of different characters thrown in that have been nice to see, such as Megan that we see in the newest episode. There's been some cooler action scenes, and there's been some great character growth this season. I really have loved Supergirl Season 2 overall. The last few episodes haven't really grabbed at me as much as the earlier episodes have this season. But the Martian Chronicles definitely accomplished that aspect for me. It really sucked me into this world, and I really loved seeing the smaller scale they did this episode. So the episode opens with basically Kara rejecting Mon-El and Kara Kara wanting to hang out with Alex, but Alex doesn't want to hang out with her because she has something planned with Megan, and basically she's abandoned on her Earth birthday, and her Earth birthday is basically the anniversary of when she came to Earth. So it was interesting and very awkward to see Kara sort of at this place where she doesn't have her friends with her anymore, and she feels like she's in this state where she feels like she's losing everybody, including Alex. And I actually thought they did that really well and really provided a nice feeling, because it fell off at the beginning of the episode, because Kara has been estranged from basically all of the cast lately, and it was great to see them sort of give that vibe off at the beginning of the episode. So but quickly after that, there's this fight outside the bar involving Megan, John Jones, Supergirl, and Armek, who is Megan's White Martian mate from back on Mars. He's come to bring Megan back to Mars to punish her, and so everybody goes back to the DEO, and it's figured out that Megan, who is brought back to the DEO, is actually Armek in disguise. So there's this big fight where John Jones is basically fighting Armek, but Armek escapes, and they don't know which one of them is a White Martian in disguise. So they put the base on lockdown, and so this is what sort of introduces the smaller scale of the episode, because this whole entire episode takes place in DEO, but they put the base on lockdown, and basically they had to go through this sort of trial to figure out who is the White Martian, and there's all this confusion and people basically turning on each other, pointing guns at each other. But we eventually figure out that it was Wynn, who was disguised as the White Martian and who had been body swapped basically. So this Martian tries to kill them, but eventually flees. Armek flees, and so everybody splits up into two teams to investigate, and they're all in these dark hallways with red lights flashing, because the base is actually set to explode, because Armek sets the generator to explode to draw them out so he can kill Megan. It's very creepy seeing them all go down the hallways, and there's actually some great dialogue that happens in the hallways. We get to see John Jones basically talk about his affection for Megan and how she's not alone, and we also get to see Kara and Alex sort of have that moment where Alex says, "Hey, I'm not gonna abandon you." But there's a great plot twist in this episode. We figure out that Alex was actually the White Martian in disguise. So she tries to kill Kara, and they get into a fight, this White Martian. And there's this epic battle at the end where basically Supergirl is pitted against that White Martian that was disguised as Alex, and John Jones and Megan fight Armek. And of course, in the end, Megan kills Armek. But the real Wynn is able to stop the meltdown and save the day, and basically save the DEO. So at the end of the episode, Megan, even despite all that's happened, despite the family she's made on Earth, she decides to leave, to go back to Mars to petition her people to change their ways. And I don't like that decision too much, because I felt like we'd just gotten this Megan-centric episode, and just to see her go so quick was kind of sad. But we also got to see Mon-El. At the end of the episode, Kara basically gets some conversation about Alex and decides, hey, I'm going to get with Mon-El, but Mon-El is going out with Eve at the end of the episode. So overall, this episode of Supergirl, the Martian Chronicles, Season 2, Episode 11, was phenomenal. I loved the action in this episode. It was amazing, but action doesn't make the show, as they say. I loved the smaller scale in this episode, because it allowed better character interaction, and better character dialogue. And I loved sort of the horror element they had with the White Martians going and them not knowing who it was. So all that combined, made this episode phenomenal. And I would say the only thing I didn't like, of course, was Magan leaving early. I felt like that was sort of abrupt. And I hated the whole Eve and Mon-El storyline because I feel like the Mon-El Kara dynamic is so great when they're actually together and on the same page. And I feel like in the last few episodes they've sort of stretched out that whole romantic subplot a little bit too much. And I think they just need to bring it to a conclusion, get them together, But overall, this episode, despite those small discrepancies, it was phenomenal. So I'd have to give my final score for The Martian Chronicles, I'd have to give the episode an 8.7 out of 10. I hope you've enjoyed this recap and review. Remember to check out my other Supergirl recap and reviews. And like and subscribe for more. This has been Jonesy from Joneser TV, signing off.